This is the No Excuses Coaching Podcast with Ryan Montes and Alanna Banks, where we discuss the mindset, the attitude, and the strategies of elite coaching. Hey, Ryan, happy holidays. I hope you had a great Christmas.
Alanna, happy holidays. I had a great Christmas last year. Haven't had a good one yet this year because we're recording this before Christmas. But
True.
If you want me to pretend Christmas already happened, then sure. It was great. How was yours?
Amazing.
Awesome.
I'm also holding these brand new mugs that we have for the No Excuses Coaching Podcast.
I'm also holding a mug for the No Excuses Coaching Podcast.
And I was thinking, I don't know what you think about this, Ryan, but over the holidays, if anybody comments or, if anybody comments on Apple Podcasts or on, I think the only place you can comment is Apple Podcasts, or even if someone comments or sends us a message that's like a nice little review of the podcast and sends it to It's the No Excuses Podcast on Instagram, you can get put into like a little pool, and then whoever we pick, I'll send a mug to.
Cool.
Because everybody wants one of these mugs, right?
Yeah. That's a nice holiday contest idea. So they got to write a review on Apple Podcasts, take a screenshot of it and send it to you, and you'll put them in a draw.
Yeah.
Cool.
Or write a little review and send it to It's the No Excuses Podcast Instagram.
Oh, okay. So, and then we can post,
and then we can like share it or whatever. But anybody who basically writes a review and sends it to Alanna at alannabanks.com or send it to It's the No Excuses Podcast DMs, I'll put you in a draw and you're going to be the winner of this amazing mug.
You're going to potentially be the winner of this amazing.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah. This is, by the way, if you're listening to this and you're thinking about writing a review that takes you like 10 seconds, you're probably going to have like a 1 in 3 chance of winning this, because very few people write reviews. Even though we have lots of listeners, I already know, like I've been around. It ain't my first rodeo. Even with a cool prize, not a lot of people are going to do this. So if you're listening and you're like, oh, I could do that, there's like a very high chance you're going to win if you just do what Alanna just asked. So do it.
Yeah. And it's a great quality mug. No excuses mug. And I might even put a little something special in the mug. So that's just a little added incentive. Something sweet.
Something like bourbon or
no, not
cognac?
Liquid. Obviously not liquid.
We can't give people alcohol, Alanna, even if it is the holidays.
No, I mean like a little, something sweet, not liquid.
Like a bribe? What's going on here? We have only the highest upstanding ethics and morals. We just did a presentation on this the other day. Anyways, enough joking. Send us a nice review. What do you want to talk about today, by the way?
Yeah. So, I think right now is the perfect time to talk about just a little bit of balance, right? This year has been busy. And if you're an entrepreneur, like you and I are, it gets really, really busy. And I find that the week between Christmas and New Year's is like the perfect excuse to, get some balance. And lots of people are doing things, they're traveling, they're hanging out with family, they're preoccupied. And so it's a good opportunity to just maybe take a break. So today we're going to talk about 7 tips for maintaining work-life balance during the holidays. What do you think about that?
I think it's great.
You into it?
Yeah. I mean, I think, full disclosure, I'm a person who's gone through phases in my life where I've had very little balance. And now I feel like I have a really good amount of balance. And I've been everywhere in between. So I do have some tips. And I think, these 7 tips that we're going to share, I know, are real tips from us, written by us, based on our personal experience and training and study and application, right? I'm not going to tell anybody anything today that hasn't worked for me personally, regardless of how controversial it may be. Dun, dun, dun.
Anyways. Controversial?
Me?
Something controversial coming from Ryan Montes?
Me? Abrasive and against the grain? Never. Never.
I've got some controversial ones on my list too. And like the thing is you don't know what's on my list.
You don't know what's on my list.
I know. So that's what
How
makes
about
it
that?
even more fun
Yeah. All
because we're
right.
reacting in real time, people.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, real time. Yeah.
I'm also wearing a Santa hat and
Yeah.
like a velvet green duster because I like to dress up for the holidays.
Alanna Banks looks very Christmassy on the Zoom call recording session today. Very Christmassy.
Yeah.
I, on the other hand, am wearing the same green shirt that I wear every week when we record the Zoom call, it seems. Anyway, so it's green at least.
Yeah. You still look festive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tip number one on my list. I've written here, and this is the tip for maintaining work life balance in the holidays,
Yeah.
the Christmas/holiday season. I wrote, don't be shooting around here.
Mm.
There is no right or wrong. Don't be shooting all over my office, everybody, or all over your home. Um, it's very tempting all the time, but particularly in the holidays, to say to yourself, it should be this way, it should be that way. I should be spending X days, minutes, hours with family. I should be doing this, buying that, going here, eating this, not eating that, whatever. Be very mindful that should, as the famous relationship coach Annie Lala said, a should is a could with shame smeared all over it. So don't be
Oh,
shitting yourself during the holidays. However you choose to spend your holiday season is right for you, right?
totally.
There's no wrong except for what you decide is right and wrong. So if you want to work straight through the holidays and that's best for you, do it. If you want to ignore work straight through the holidays and just play with the kids, the nieces and nephews, whoever, straight through the holidays, do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't apologize for it. How about that?
I like it. I think that kind of goes into what I was going to say, which is work if you feel inspired, which
Is
kind of
this your
ties in.
is this your tip number one?
This is my tip. Yes.
Okay, go for it. Yeah.
But it kind of flows in nicely. Yours flows in nicely to this one, which is work if you feel inspired. So it kind of goes back to the should, like, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't be working this week because it's the week between Christmas and New Year's and everybody's off and blah, blah, blah. But if you're feeling really inspired and you want to work and it's coming from a very intentional place, like a place of like, I really want to do this. I'm feeling inspired. I'm feeling energized. Then go for it. Right? No one's telling you you shouldn't be working during this time or, you're a bad person because you are. If you're feeling inspired, then take that inspired action and go for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Do it.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want, listeners.
Yeah. Do
Yeah,
whatever you want.
do whatever you want. It's the
Would it?
holidays.
Yeah. It's the holidays.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you have next?
My next one, tip number two on my list, which is tip number three for this episode, I suppose, is to be mindful that there's a lot of limiting beliefs attached to the holidays.
Mm.
In all contexts, there's a lot of limiting beliefs attached to the holidays. Some examples are, I can't make sales 2 weeks before or 2 weeks after Christmas. Nobody spends much. Boulder Dash. January is one of the biggest sales months of the year for many coaches and for many entrepreneurs. Likewise, the weeks leading up to Christmas. There's no such thing when you truly live in an abundant world, which we all do, whether we accept it or not, as like a slow season or a down season. Especially if you're a coach, people always need coaching.
Yeah.
So that's a big holiday limiting belief that business must slow down. It doesn't really need to.
Yeah.
What are some other holiday limiting beliefs while we're on this tip?
Well, I mean, there's a big one in that Like you've got to get gifts for like everybody you know in your life. And if you don't, you're a horrible person, meaning like teachers, neighbors, like your cat sitter, whatever, like that's a big limiting belief.
Yeah.
That everything has to be perfect, like you have to create this whole, I think this is kind of like a limiting belief for some moms out there, but just believing that you're the person who's got to make it magical for like your whole family.
Yeah.
A limiting belief. Don't put that pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And I think just connected to my previous tip about not shooting all over the place during the holidays, is the limiting beliefs. Like, anytime we are at the whim of a should, there's some kind of limiting belief. Like I should host a giant party for every relative I know, right? Again, I'm not saying don't do that, because
yeah.
you
If that
surely
brings
take
you
great joy from it,
joy,
but don't feel obligated.
exactly. Yeah.
Maybe potentially.
Yeah.
Um, cool. So we got some. Just the tip here is, if you're a coach, you know what a limiting belief is. Be on the lookout for them
Yeah.
around the holidays.
Yeah. Or even like
Um,
this belief that you have to hang out with your extended family for like days on end. Like you don't have to if you don't want to.
yeah,
I mean, go back to the boundaries episode from last week and
yeah,
just, decide I'm not available for that.
yeah,
If that's what truly, don't want to do, then don't do it.
yeah. And if you do want to do it,
Do
then
it.
do it. Right?
Yeah.
I like my extended family quite a bit. I wish I could see them more, in fact. But yeah, do again boils down to just do you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. What's your next tip?
Well, my next one is kind of along the same lines of that, but it's don't compare. So don't compare, what you're doing to what everybody else is doing. Just do you. Figure out what, is bringing you joy, figure out what you want to do within your business or whatever, but don't start comparing yourself to like other people, especially on social media. I think you can get really bogged down by that. But just take this time for yourself to celebrate your own thing that you want to celebrate or take time off or, work harder, whatever it is, but don't play that comparison game.
Yeah.
Or if you see like bigger coaches than you posting content, like realize that they probably have a team of people who have scheduled all this content and they've, created all this content beforehand. And like that coach is not sitting, posting all this content during Christmas Day or, when people tend to be spending time with their family. So, just recognize where you're at and be okay with where you're at, right? Like,
Yeah.
what's the big quote? Like, don't compare your year 1 to someone else's year 10.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Not a good time to compare. And really, it's never really a good time to be comparing ourselves with others.
Yeah.
Cool. I like that one. I've got a tip for the coaches, for the entrepreneurs, and that is your clients will understand. Your clients will understand.
Yeah.
If you take off time during the holidays, your clients will understand. If you don't take off time during the holidays, your clients will understand. If you send them a sales letter on Christmas Day, your clients probably won't care / they'll
Won't open
understand
it.
or won't open it or whatever, right? Again, it just goes back to there's no wrong way to do the holiday season,
Mm-hmm.
right? The only wrong way is if it's not making you happy, right?
Yeah.
The other thing is, I always say don't announce your social media absences
Mm-hmm.
unless there's a good reason to do it, because it's murky water where all of a sudden you're justifying your actions to people. We don't want to be justifying our actions to people unless you want to, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But if you just don't post for a couple of days around the holidays, again, your clients will understand. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
Cool.
Yeah. And I'm thinking like just even before, just this week, I booked a bunch of new clients for the new year, but I'm taking off the next 2 weeks. Like, and I made that clear while we were, texting back and forth and like chatting on Zoom about signing on together. But I didn't feel bad saying like, you know, we're not going to be like, we're going to set this stuff up now, but we're not starting until January 9th, you know, and everybody understood because I was being honest, right? It's just being honest and communicating like what's happening.
Yeah.
Now that doesn't mean that I'm going to go on Instagram and be like, I'm taking the next 2 weeks off of my business, because I'm going to still be on Instagram here and there for sure. But yeah, everybody understands. It's the holidays. People are doing, and your clients have their own things going on too. So that's another important thing to keep in mind.
Cool.
Okay, so my next tip is like legit take a break if that's what you want to do. Like be intentional about the fact that you want to take a break. Like maybe you have been working really hard. Maybe you are going away. Maybe you just like want to hang out. That's okay. So if that's what you're doing, then like intentionally take that break and don't, you know, sneak off and do bits of work here and there. If you're like feeling like, oh, I don't know if I should be taking this break, just legit take it.
Yeah.
Just like you would if you were working in like a corporate 9-to-5 job. When you take your vacation, you're like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
See you later.
Yeah. Do it. Take a break. Yeah. Take the holidays if you want to take them. Probably the world's not going to collapse if you take a couple of weeks off around the holidays, around Christmas. It's going to be okay.
Yeah. And you're going to feel so good when you get back. For giving yourself that permission to intentionally just take some time for yourself. And the people in your life are probably going to love that too. Yeah. Right? Having your presence.
Yeah. Presence and presence.
Mm-hmm.
All that.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I have one more tip and then I have a bonus tip.
I've got 2 bonus tips.
You got 2 bonus tips. Okay. My next tip, my last normal tip, my last numbered tip is written this way. Do what you love, even if that's work. Do what you love, even if that's work. Yeah. I'm going to be taking time off during the holidays. But when I take time off, I'm probably still going to be up at 5 a.m. and I'm probably still going to be on my computer, like at home, doing 2 hours of work or so in the morning. Here's why. For one reason, I like what I do. I love what I do. I will get pleasure and joy from being up in those wee hours of the morning before the rest of the world is awake and working on my business, because my business is something I'm super passionate about, right? This again goes back to not shooting all over the place. I'm not going to ignore my business because entrepreneurs should take off 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month at the holidays. Because I don't believe that. For me personally, other people want to, great. But for me personally, I don't take time off ever, even when I'm traveling. I still answer my messages. I still look at my emails. I still do stuff. Maybe it's not as much stuff, but it's because I like it. Because I get great joy from it, right? So for me, this holiday season, I'm going to see the family. I'm going to do all that good stuff, but I'm going to be working too because I like it. Yeah.
Yeah. And that actually ties in with my tip as well. It's like, if you must, maybe just commit to like one thing a day or the thing that you love most about your business. Because just like you, I'm going to be taking the next couple of weeks off. Like, I'm not going to be seeing clients face to face. I'm not going to really be like working, but I'm still going to be working on my business. There are still things about my business that I love doing that I'm going to do. And I'll just do them when I feel like it.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it.
Okay. You want to hear my bonus tip?
Do you have 1 or 2 bonus tips?
I actually have 1 because that tip was like aligned that was aligned with your tip. So I just kind of it was an add-on.
Okay. What's your bonus tip?
So my bonus tip, just take some time to sit with your thoughts this holiday season. If you're not working or if you're going to take some time off, but maybe rather than taking it as like an off week or like a holiday, take this opportunity to maybe do some planning or like some intention setting or, just sitting with your thoughts and thinking about where you're at, where you're going, right? Like create some intentionality in your business. That's my bonus. because it's a
Yeah.
great time to do it because things are slow. Like things do slow down during this time because people are doing other things. People are off, people are traveling, like as we said. So if you're not busy, but you want to be working, take this opportunity as just sort of like a reflection period.
Yeah. I like that tip. That's a good tip.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good tip. You want to hear my bonus tip?
I do.
Listen here, entrepreneurs and coaches. Here's my bonus
Is
tip.
this controversial? The controversial one?
It could be slightly.
Okay.
Could be slightly, especially depending on the person's belief structure.
Ooh.
My bonus tip for the holiday season, take it or leave it, is buy yourself something nice, everybody.
Ooh, I like that.
The best gift you get this holiday season might be from yourself, right?
Yeah.
Now, I mean, there's the surface level. It's nice to treat yourself to something nice every now and then, maybe a new watch or a new phone or a new computer or a new car, whatever. And it's also really nice if you reinforce the underlying empowering belief that I'm worthy of having beautiful experiences and things. And one way of doing that is by giving yourself beautiful experiences and things. So this holiday season, make sure your own name appears on your list of people to, treat this year. At least that's my opinion. What do you think?
I like it. I think it's really good. Something that I don't do for myself, really. Although I feel like I kind of like treat myself all the time to like little things.
Yeah.
Just because that's part of my mindset. But that's a great tip. Yeah. Treat yourself.
Yeah.
To something special. You deserve it. You deserve it, right? Like, and even if that's just like a day where you just like stay in your pajamas all day and like lie around, that's good too. I know I'm going to do that. At least one day I'm going to do that. Yeah.
Because you're worthy, everybody. You're worthy.
Yeah, you're worthy. You are worthy. You're so worthy. And I think the other thing too is be present.
Yeah.
Just be present in whatever it is you're doing in that moment. Be present.
Yeah. You know what the best way to be present in any moment is, Alanna?
What's that?
It's to drop down from your head to your heart and just be grounded in your knowing. That's the best way to be present.
It is.
This holiday season.
I agree. I'm going to be doing that. I'm probably doing that now as you listen to this episode.
Yeah. Me too.
That's what I'll be doing.
Done. Did it. I'm there.
All right.
Cool.
All right. Those are the tips. I don't know how many that was, but we said 7 at the beginning. But anyway, these are your holiday tips for maintaining a work-life balance, during this interesting time of year.
Yeah.
Before things get ramped up in the new year and you feel like you're already behind. It's like all over. That's a topic for another podcast.
We'll have another episode to address the limiting belief that Alanna Banks just installed in all of our listeners' minds, creating an unpleasant expectation for the new year. Don't worry, we'll fix it later. Cool.
All right.
All right.
So that's it.
Happy everything.
Yeah, happy everything. Hope everyone is doing well.
Yeah.
Follow us at It's the No Excuses Podcast on Instagram. And follow me at Alanna Banks Coaching and Ryan.
Follow me at Ryan Montes NLP on Instagram. I have a website, ryanmontes.com. And those are the best places to find me.
Yeah. And don't forget about our cool little contest to win a mug.
By the way, the mug is super nice, actually. It's like Alanna Banks designed it herself.
Yes.
And they're really nice. So yeah, write us a little review and enter for your chance to win a mug.
Yeah.
Boom.
Okay. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Bye.
Bye, everyone.